need to talk about CNN trying to defend Alex Pretti, and I have not watched the full clip that we are going to watch right now. I'm going to react to this live in front of you without any previous, I don't know, not viewing this before. And this is about, I'm going to tell you what this is about. Caitlin Collins, you know, that lady from CNN, you know her, right? New CNN analysis of the chaotic moments leading up to Alex Pretti's death and the aggressive actions of two federal agents. But at the same time, we have only one very small clip from Tim Walz before we begin. Tim Walz says that Renee Good and Alex Pretti were doing activities that are at the core of what it means to be American. Okay, that would be more insulting to Americans. We're going to watch this first.
What they did was, and with Renee Good, what they did is they hit at the best of us doing activities that are at the core of what it means to be American.
You know that Tim Walz is being investigated for fraud as well, so I guess it checks out when he says us. He's not talking about every single American. He's talking about maybe Il Scam Omar. He's talking about himself. He's talking about Kamala. Kamala says Kamala has not been involved in the scams. I'm being unfair with that one. Kamala has been involved in Hennessy. I mean, in ways that, in levels that I cannot understand, but it's a fact. And we have this, Caitlin Collins also complaining about Trump's Truth Social post on Alex Pretti. Agitator and perhaps insurrectionist Alex Pretti's stock has gone way down with the just released video of him screaming and spitting in the face of a very calm and under control ICE officer, and then crazily kicking in a new and very expensive government vehicle, so hard and violent in fact that the taillight broke off in pieces. Again, I am surprised. I don't know what kind of boots, what was he wearing? Maybe Doc Martens? It was quite a display of abuse and anger for all to see, crazed and out of control. The ICE officer was calm and cool, not an easy thing to be under those circumstances. Make America great again. And this is Caitlin Collins herself with the recollections may vary version of events.
Investigations tonight. Our team has an eye-opening new analysis focused on the movements of these two officers who shot Alex Pretti on Saturday before, during, and after they opened fire. Both have now been placed on administrative leave. That just happened yesterday, as we know. And my colleague, Gianna Tabone, takes us through it moment by moment. And I want to warn you, the video you're going to see does shed new light. You do need to watch it. It is interesting.
All right.
It is also disturbing.
Let's do this. I'm ready for it. What was that? What's like Banshee or something? What is this?
This CNN.
Oh, the whistling. That is a whistling of this retard.
An analysis focuses on the two officers that raised their guns, seen here. One wearing a green shirt and black hat,
right,
and the other in a tan beanie.
Okay.
And sheds light on how their actions escalated the situation before it became deadly. At 8:56 a.m., we see this officer in the green shirt for the first time in this video. Later, you'll see he's wearing a bulletproof vest labeled U.S. Border Patrol, along with a patch of the state flag of Texas.
Okay, that is nice. I would like that jacket like that.
Here he is on Nicollet Avenue. You can see him shaking his spray as the sound of whistles blare in the background.
Yeah, the whistles are unnerving, to say that. I apologize for the whistles. I didn't know if I had some kind of AI to remove the whistles, but I think that those are important as well to understand the pressure that these officers were under, the constant whistling.
We see Alex Pretti for the first time here in a video filmed from a car driving by. Pretti and three other people are across the street. They're standing next to a federal officer. Seconds later, an officer pushes Pretti to the sidewalk. Pretti is filming while stepping backwards. A moment later, this person falls to the ground as an officer begins to restrain him. The officer in the green shirt rushes over to his...
Okay, it is really necessary. We're watching a video and, yeah, you see this. They say this. Footage slowed down. So we are not watching footage in real time. So why include the whistling? I mean, that is not helping your case. Okay, if CNN wants to think that, oh, he was He was just walking this old lady across the street. No, the whistling is not helping at all.
Assist him. Together, they drag this person off the street as protesters yell at the agents. That first officer in the green shirt would next be seen sitting inside.
I mean, after 5 minutes of that whistling, I would be punching people in the face. I would 100 be punching people in the face. I'm very peaceful. I'm not a violent person, but there are two things. There's one thing that you already know. That is the smell of pot. Okay, makes me want to punch people in the face. That's one. And the second one I discovered this week, that is the whistles. So I can guess if there's some kind of stoner, I don't know, smoking pot, and he's whistling at the same time, I have two fists. That is the upside of my situation.
Inside his car here. We now want to turn your attention to the second officer wearing a tan beanie. According to a report from Customs and Border Protection's investigative body, officers ordered these female civilians and later Pretti to move out of the roadway, and they did not. At that time, Pretti can be seen directing traffic past the officers and protesters. The officer in the tan beanie shoves the two women in the middle of the street, prompting Pretti to yell out.
Okay, CNN already acknowledged that they disobeyed this officer's commands. That is interesting.
Hey, do not push them into the traffic.
Watching the shoving across the street, the officer in the green shirt is now standing outside of his car. Meanwhile, the officer in the tan beanie turns his attention to Pretti, pushing him out of the way before shoving one of the women to the ground. Pretti steps between them, and the officer pepper sprays him in the face.
I mean, the whistles remind me of those. You remember the vuvuzelas? You know, those kind of trumpets in this soccer and football games. Those were the things that, again, punchables. Make people punchable.
As Pretti tries to help the woman to her feet, multiple officers grab him and pull him to the ground.
Right?
At this point, the officer wearing the green shirt and black hat approaches. You can see him reach for his spray here, and then attempt to use it on the people pushed against the car. It appears to malfunction. As we slow this footage down, you can see that he then turns toward Pretti, who is being held down by other agents. According to CBP, they were attempting to take Pretti into custody, and that he resisted. Based on these videos, Pretti can be seen on the ground with more than 5 officers around him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you're on the ground, by the way, this is something that I did not mention on my analysis. If you're on the ground and you just maybe don't resist, if you just lay flat on the ground, there should be no problem. There should be no problem with anything. Why would the 4 or 5 guys we needed, unless you are, I don't know, fighting back or trying to resist arrest?
At this exact moment, on the other side of the scrum, the officer in the tan beanie starts beating Pretti in the head with a metal spray canister.
Oh my God. How could they? Monsters.
Another officer in a gray coat removes Pretti's handgun from his waistband directly in front of the officer in the green shirt here.
Yeah, the narrator forgot to say that they were shouting, "Gone, gone," at that time.
Though it's unclear if he sees it, he pushes the officer in the gray coat to the side, drawing his gun and pointing it at Pretti, who is down on his knees, bent forward. 1 second later.
Okay, and you cannot have a gun like in, I don't know, in somewhere and take it out. Because, yeah, you know that you can have more than one gun on you. Yeah, baffling, I know.
Later, we hear the first gunshot.
Boom.
The officer in the green shirt's gun now becomes visible again. We see him fire the second, third, and fourth shots. We can see the officer in the tan beanie raise his gun, and a 5th shot is heard, while the other officer's gun is pointed to the ground. There's a 1 second pause where Pretti is lying on the ground, face up. He appears to be completely incapacitated. Then, the officer in the green shirt points his gun again. Shots 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all fired while Pretti is
10 shots. I thought it was like 6 or 7, but I never thought it was 10 shots.
lying face up on the street. This officer fired at least 4 of those 5 shots. You can see the recoil and bullet casings eject. The other officers have all backed away by this point.
All right. So, what is your point?
It's a pretty damning analysis, and CNN reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for comment on this analysis. Their statement is as follows. Border Patrol agents are highly trained and required to meet the highest standards of professionalism and law enforcement capability. Many of our agents have backgrounds in the military or local law enforcement, and Border Patrol agents receive extensive federal training, enforcement training, at federal law enforcement training centers, just as ICE officers.
Okay, just as ICE officers, but I don't know. It's a very good question, Cali girl. When did it become 10 shots? I never really stopped to count the shots themselves, but I never thought it was going to be 10 shots in total, right? But I don't think that CNN with this analysis did any favors for Alex Pretti being an innocent bystander case. In fact, it actually implies that any commands from law enforcement officers were ignored twice, at least once in this analysis. So, it doesn't look good for them. But again, if a CNN cannot make an actual point in terms of, he was shot in such and such way, which anyway, so many people have already made up their mind about Alex Pretti, about the real Alex Pretti, not the one enhanced by AI. That's something that's going to happen. They're going to just use this as confirmation of their biases. But again, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments about CNN trying to make some kind of clear Alex Pretti's name. They did not say that. They just said, we're going to do an analysis. It's just like, we need to do the analysis, but it seems that it's not going to go the way that we want. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love